I am sure that this applies on other makes and models, but I'm covering this specifically for the 2021 Ford F-150 Lariat. This is the full hybrid. So right now I have the truck in park. If I put my foot on the brake and move to drive, you can now see this green hand right here, which means that it is in auto hold. So you can see the gear shift. It's in drive, but the truck is not moving, and the truck will not move until I give it gas. As soon as you give it gas, the hand light goes out and then comes back on, and then auto hold is re-engaged. And auto hold is mainly if you're stopped uphill or downhill, and rather than sitting there holding your foot on the brake the entire time, the truck will apply the brakes automatically with the auto hold feature on. I've seen it on a couple of forums in the threads. I've also seen some videos where people have complained about the jumpiness of the auto hold feature. I would have to agree with the jumpiness of the auto hold feature, because if I put it in drive, green hand comes on, meaning that the auto hold is on, and I go to hit the gas, and it's a little jumpy. It's not something, I mean, you could get used to it. It's not something you really expect initially. Where the auto hold really becomes a pain is when you pull into a parking spot at a grocery store, or anywhere in a parking lot, even sometimes at your own house, where you pull up in the driveway, but if you stop and you stop short of where you actually want to park, it could be a little, I wouldn't say scary, it can be kind of uncomfortable, because you want your truck closer to the garage door or in the garage, but you may not want to inch it forward because of the jumpiness of the truck. But there's two different ways you can get around this. And so, as I said, the auto hold feature is on. If I just put my foot on the gas, it's going to jump. It's not that bad all the time, but it can be jumpy. Another way that you can avoid the jumpiness of putting your foot on the gas pedal, and I know this is counter to any driver's training that anyone may have gone through, where you could actually put your left foot on the brake as you put your right foot on the gas, and then ease up on the brake as you give it gas, and it's not as jumpy as it would normally be. So again, auto hold is on, and right now I'm going to give it gas. And that wasn't too bad. Give myself a little more room. Put it back in drive. Now, instead of just giving it gas, I've got my left foot on the brake pedal, my right foot going on the gas pedal. So I'm going to give it some gas as I ease up my foot off the brake. And it's a little smoother, not as jerky. And doing it this way is, in my opinion, pulling into a parking spot and having this auto hold feature enabled, you know, it's kind of hit and miss on how jumpy it's going to be, especially if you're trying to pull into a parking spot enough to not have the back end of the truck sticking out, or, you know, just getting in the parking spot properly. There are a lot of features on this truck that you can disable, but once you shut the vehicle off and then turn it back on, it automatically goes to a default. But in this case, the auto hold feature is one that once you set it, it stays where you set it. So if you go to features, driver assistance, auto hold right here at the top, and it's on, information, it just basically, all it says is continues to hold the vehicle stationary after you come to stop. Hold is released when you press the accelerator pedal. So if I turn it off, it will stay off. It's not going to come back on once I turn the truck off. So I have auto hold disabled. I've got the truck in drive, and you can see that there's no longer the green hand up there. My right foot is on the brake, and as soon as I let my foot off the brake, the truck is going. Auto hold is one of those features you can like and dislike. I like the auto hold mainly because you come to a stop, you can kind of relieve your foot some, not having to hold the brake down the entire time. But then on the other end of disabling auto hold, I think it's nice to not have the auto hold, because like in this case, if I pull into a parking spot or pull in somewhere, all I have to do is relieve my foot from the brake a little bit. So I pull into a parking spot, just let it inch forward, stop, put it in park, done. If I have auto hold on, I have to worry about the jerkiness, and then also being concerned about, am I going to hit that light post, or am I going to hit that car in front of me, trying to get the truck all the way into a parking spot. So auto hold's kind of hit and miss. You know, without the auto hold on, I pull into a parking spot, if I'm not all the way in there, I just, you know, let off the brake a little bit until I get it to where I want it, stop, that's it. One of the things that they did do is shorten the antenna, and from what I read, it was that because it was too long, the wind was causing it to bend quite a bit and whip around quite a bit. So they shortened the antenna, but then they added this piece on the bottom. I really don't like this. I like the fact that if you wanted to take it off before, you would have to use a wrench to take it off. But now, all you have to do is grab it and screw it right off. I would hope that no one would want to steal someone's antenna, but they made it a little bit easier to do so.